The number one question asked about e-bike racks is, what is the weight capacity? On the Hollywood Destination rack, it's 70 pounds on each bike. So up front here, I've got this bike. This is 61 pounds, and my beast in back is 65 pounds, and those are the weights without the batteries. Let me show you how the bikes come off the rack. Extend the ramp, lock it in, and it's connected. Undo the safety straps around the tires. Take off the safety strap. Take off the clamp, and that bike is ready to come off. So on the first bike, I've got to lean it out because I've got mirrors on here. I'm going to just walk it down. I'm going to remove this clamp, get it out of my way. Move the ramp to the other side. Undo the safety straps around the rims. Undo the clamp around the frame. And then I'll walk this bike down as well. What's really nice is it's got this channel in the middle, so a lot of bike racks don't have that, and so you really have to be careful because they only have the wide part for the wheels up front, and then in the rear it's really nice to have that middle channel there to help guide the bike down. And it's really just that easy. Let me show you how the rack folds up. The upright section here, it's got these rubber safety straps, so you take those off, and then you've got a clamp here, and you unclamp that, unclamp this, and then it'll fold down. Then we've got a pin that has a retention spring here, and you pull that out. And then the rack folds up. And that's the profile of the rack when it's in the fully folded position. I want to show you the system that keeps this from wobbling while it's in the hitch. So this is a 2-inch hitch receiver. It's got a standard pin here. I have just the regular cotter pin over here, but it also has a locking block that you can lock that hitch pin in with, and it's keyed the same, just like the knobs on the retention bars for the bikes themselves. But how this works is, you've got this device here, and this loosens. And if I loosen that, the rack will wobble. You can see that. Well, this has a rod that goes through here, and you're actually putting this hitch pin through an inner part of this hitch, right here, this tube, and it goes through the extra outside walls and the inside walls of this hitch. And then what it does is, as you turn this, it tightens it because it's pulling it back up from that hitch pin that's going all the way through the 2-inch receiver. So as I snug this down, now I try to wobble it and I'd have to move the car. It's an ingenious system. It works great. It does not come loose, and this thing is rock solid. While I have this exposed, I want to show you the mechanism that is the tilt feature, and then I'll actually show you how it tilts with the bikes on it when I'm done. This knob loosens right here, and then you sort of swing that away. It won't go anywhere. It's locked down there in the back. The pivot point is back here, and it's just a little bit to the rear so that it balances the bikes well, so that when you do the tilt feature, it actually makes tilting the bikes easier than you would think, so you don't have all the weight on your arms And this is how it tilts, just like that. It'll go almost 90 degrees. And then you just lock it down and it's solid again. Okay, let's load the bikes. First I want to show you the ramp. So this ramp is double walled. It slides one section into the other, and then it has a locking screw on the back, just like this. This is solid. There's no sag, zero sag in this ramp. And if you can see here, it's got a hole and it connects to the edge of each side of the ramp, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Here you can see the end of the ramp, and it goes right over that plastic pin right there. I'm going to load up the rack closest to the vehicle first, and I'm going to do that with the heaviest bike. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it up here, and I'm going to grab the frame with this clamp, and that'll secure it. And then I can take my time and do the straps on the wheels. You can see with the weight on that ramp, there's zero sag. That center guide where the front tire is right now is really, really helpful. And I'll just roll it on up. I've got it set up where the short clamp just grabs the top of the frame, and then I can cinch this down. This has a lock on it that's matched to the other knob and also to the hitch pin lock. The straps that hold the rims in place go over just like that. It's got pads on them so that it doesn't scratch your wheel, and it just goes in just like that. Now I put them in just snug until everything's done, and then I'll tighten them up. You got two of those straps on the front wheel and one on the rear. These do not have the ratcheting feature. You just have to pull down on the strap. The first bike's on, it's snug. Let's mount the second bike. On the outside bike, the ramp mounts on the opposite side. Now, because I've done this a number of times already, I already know where I'm going to put this second clamp. And you can put it anywhere on this inner stabilizer, let's call it this mounting bar, in order to find the optimal spot to mount your bike on this clamp. So I already know that I'm going to mount it about right here. And let me show you, this clamp has a lock on it that snaps shut, and then this is spring loaded. And so you turn this bar and it tightens everything up together, including this clamp. Along with this ramp, they give you another bar that you can put through here, and it will remove this removable feature here and make it more of a permanent mount if you want to put it on the rack and just kind of keep it there. Putting the bike up there the same way as the other. That center guide again, really, really nice. I tilt this bike out because I need to clear the mirrors. Stand it back up, and I'm good to go. Like I said, I already know where this clamp here goes, so I'm going to go ahead and mount that. The mounting point that I chose for this is the seat bar. And you'll notice this second bike is a step through. Get these rims strapped down. Hollywood Racks also gives you this safety strap, and they say put this around both of your bikes. So what I do is put it through here, and I actually go around this inner stabilizer, the inner mounting rack, the upright one, and just kind of put it through both bikes. And I would probably guess that this strap is just some kind of extra insurance, but if I had to guess, I don't think it'll ever be needed. So I can cinch that up, collapse the ramp, and I'm good to go. Let me show you the tilt feature. I showed you how to unlock the tilt feature, so I'm going to reach in here, unscrew that T handle, let it drop back, and it's ready to tilt. The good thing is it is ready to tilt right now, and it doesn't just fall back, so you don't have to manage that weight, because again, the pivot point of this rack is a little bit to the rear, which puts more weight forward, and so I can do this. And again, it goes almost 90 degrees. Plenty of room for any tailgate, and it's easier than you would imagine in order to get the bikes back up into position, again, because of where that pivot point is. You don't feel like you're carrying all 120, 130 pounds. Reach through here, put the T-handle back in place, screw that down. A couple things that I would want to know if I were you, and that is this plastic here, it's not really a plastic, it's a composite of some sort. This middle guide is metal with sort of a composite plastic shield on the outside of it, and this is some type of composite plastic, and then that's metal, and everything else is metal on this rack. It's got good safety features in that the locking hitch is fantastic, and the anti-sway bar is really effective. It's got the rubber retention straps for the clamps, and overall, I think they really thought through all the safety type operational issues that could come up when you're hauling 130 pounds on the back of your vehicle. This is what the clearance looks like between the bikes. My bike on the left is a beast. The one on the right is not a beast. It's a step through folding bike. The other bike rack that I have, the bikes, I actually put rags in between the bars because they are touching each other. So great clearance. Good job, Hollywood Racks. I'm going to show you some footage looking towards the rear window of the vehicle while we're moving, just to show you the sway of the rack, or the lack of, I should say. And also I've got some good drone footage that I want to share with you, just to show you not only what it looks like, but how much it sways or doesn't sway when you're on a major road. After a number of times of loading and unloading this rack, I've gotten it down to just over 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 12 minutes, and that is at a nice leisurely pace, and just get the bikes loaded and make sure that everything is completely adjusted properly so that we have a safe transport. And this is what it looks like from the rear if you're another car. Now, from where I'm standing, I can see my hazard lights flashing. It's daytime, so I know that's difficult. But I checked that out the other day towards the evening, and you can still see the brake lights and the turn lights. Now, I will say this, Hollywood Racks makes an optional light bar that hangs down right below the logo right here, going right across. And that's an option, and I think that's something that I might consider. Let me summarize this rack for you. This is the most stable, well thought out e-bike rack that I've come across, and I've tested 4 of the most popular ones out there. This is the first Hollywood rack that I've had. I love the way they do the anti-sway setup on the hitch receiver. I like that the components aren't plastic, they're like some type of composite. I love that middle channel. I think that's really helpful. This rack has been a lot easier to load and unload than most other racks. I did a review on a rack that actually had a motorized raised and lower, but that rack was a lot heavier. This rack comes in at about 46 pounds, 45 pounds, give or take. Again, the bikes here are 61 and 65 pounds. So it's still easy to maneuver. Now, the wings here, the outriggers that the tires are sitting on, do not fold up. So storing this in a garage, you'll have to have some space for that, but it does fold up 90 degrees so that it's not taking up the complete footprint that you see here when it's on the vehicle itself. With the experience I've had with a number of e-bike racks, I would say that this is definitely well worth the price point. I hope you found this video interesting and informative, and I'll see you in the next one.